Okay, so we are now recording. So we're coming into the final unit. Heather just asked a good question. Her question was, is there a final test? And because I've bombarded you with projects and stuff like that, I do not have a final test. So you will have a project. So just kind of what it is, but you don't have a final test. So those little quizzes kind of add up to be your final test, and you do have a project in 5.06, I believe, right? So, and you guys all know what you guys got. Those that are here in class, you got a special privilege for being here. So thank you for coming to class, and you'll see those points go in your grade book too today. All right. Very good. Okay, so I'm just going to jump into it real quick. So we're going to be going over 5.01 and 5.02 today. You guys are a small group, but let's kind of go over some stuff here real quick. Okay, so here's kind of the objectives that we need to go over. We need to go over the major cities in Europe. Okay. Do we need to? Nope, you don't need to do that quiz because of the privilege I just gave you, or the reward I gave you. It's probably more better for being here, for coming to class. So good question though. Thanks, Susan. Okay, so here are the objectives that we're going to be going over. We're going to be going over talking about the British Isles, which is kind of a big one, which is the United Kingdom, the Mediterranean, Europe, Western Europe. We're going to go over quite a few different cities that are in Europe. Europe is fascinating. I love Europe. It's one of the places that I really want to travel to. I did live in the United Kingdom for a while, which was a very fun time. Love the culture. So you've never been there? Ah, too bad. You're missing out for sure. But just the culture that they have there in Europe, very old, places like we don't have here today. We're going to talk about the ancient civilizations as we go through. You want to spend a month in Scotland. Scotland is a fantastic place. I like Scotland. It's very close to where I was. I spent a lot of time in Manchester, England, and then in Wales. And so I visit a lot of the castles over there and everything like that. So, where have I not been? Well, I haven't been to Asia yet, or Africa, or Australia. So there's a couple continents I still need to visit. But I've been to a lot of continents. Yeah. It's very cool, and you'll see some of the things when we talk when we're going over these things. One of my favorite things there is the different foods. It really reminded me of England. So we went to Harry Potter Land over in Orlando, and it just so reminded me, like, the whole architecture and everything of England, the way the cities were built and everything like that. So it's just fun times. Did I try haggis? Do you know what? I actually did try haggis. Okay, there's tripe and there's haggis. So tripe is more of the English dish, and it has I believe cow stomach in it. And then haggis, I'm trying to remember what haggis has in it. I think it's somewhat of the same, a little bit. I also had the black pudding. That's a traditional English breakfast. It's called blood pudding. So, organs and oatmeal is what Heather says it kind of is. Kind of like that. I would more consider it like a kind of a rice kind of thing. It's not really oatmeal, but yeah, it is like they cook everything there, but it's not too bad. But the black pudding, it looks black, and you just fry it on the fryer, but it's basically blood that they've kind of put together into a sausage. They call it blood sausage or black pudding or whatever, and you cut it up, and they kind of have it as almost like their bacon, almost, if that makes sense. They eat a lot of sausage and stuff over there, but wow, that got me off track a little bit. That's okay. It's a fun place to go to. Yeah, look up haggis sometime. It's an interesting meal. All right, so where Europe is on the map. So as you can kind of see right here, where it is in relationship to the Earth, you see that middle picture. You can see the political map that's over there with all the different countries that are listed there, and then also where the physical map is there. So, and you kind of see where Europe is located. Now, it's interesting because Europe, it has a lot of different climates. I mean, it has climates like the Mediterranean climate is like a lot like Florida and South California, and that's more of like your France, your Italy, Spain, that kind of stuff down there in that area, Greece. But then you also have your what's called marine west coast. Oh, we have 10 people now. Fantastic. Our marine west coast, which is kind of like Washington and stuff, like Washington, Oregon, that kind of area, and that's more like what England is that marine west coast climate. All right, so I have a pool question for you. Let me change your pool. I can't even say it. Pool tool. Okay. All right. You should have A, B, C, or D on there. Yep, you do now. Okay. According to the map, what region is the United Kingdom in? Is it A, Western Europe, B, Northern Europe, C, Eastern Europe, or D, Southern Europe? Okay, I'll give you some time to look at it. Now I want you to, I'm pointing out on here on the map this key right here because that's what's going to help you out. Map keys are really important as you're looking at maps, kind of tell you what they are and how to find them. Okay, I'll give people some more time to think about it for a second. And the correct answer is B, Northern Europe. As you see right here, they have the different colors, that key on that map. So anything that is green is Southern Europe, as you can see right here. Anything that is red, like the red pinkish. Oh, you're all right. I understand computer problems. Is Eastern Europe. Northern Europe is anything dark blue, and then the light blue is there. So the United Kingdom is interesting because you have quite a few countries there in the United Kingdom. Okay, you have Wales, England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. They make up what's called the United Kingdom. Okay, and so that kind of leads us to our next page here, which we're going to do another breakout activity. You're probably like, oh, I am sick of online library.uen. But you guys should know how to do this now. What I want you to do, I'm going to go here into the breakout rooms, and then you should be allowed to move yourselves between the countries. Because we have such a small group, let's just choose 2. Which 2 do you want? Would you like France, Germany, or the United Kingdom to study? And I'm going to X out one and then break out evenly between the 2. So, okay, so Germany, I got a thing for Germany. We got one for the UK, United Kingdom. Any other takers? Okay, if not, I'm going to take out France. We go to take out France? Okay, so I'm going to delete this room. Okay, alright, I want you to either jump into Germany or the United Kingdom. Okay, your mark, get set, go. If you don't get in one, I'm going to put you in one. Alright guys, you guys are Germany. Okay, so I want you to research that. You have about 8 minutes to do it. If we get done before then, go ahead. You should be able to use your writing tools to write on the whiteboard here. Alright, you guys are the United Kingdom group. So you have the United Kingdom to study. So you go over those things in the online library. You have just under 8 minutes to do that. So I'll be checking on you shortly. Good job, Germany group. Keep it up. You guys are getting pros at this. We're getting done crazy fast. That's awesome. I'm going to reset the timer so we have about 2 more minutes because I think you guys finished up in about 2 minutes. Alright, so it's the end of the semester and you guys are like pros at this already. So I just put on there 2 minutes. So just kind of finish up what we're doing and then I'll pull you all back to the main room. Okay? Thanks, guys. Alright, so you guys are pros at this. So I put on the clock about 2 minutes. So you only get about a minute or so left, and I'll pull you back to the main room, and then we'll go from there. Thanks, guys. Alright, everybody, you're pulled back to the main room. So, thank you. Man, you guys are fast now. So, yeah, you had a lot of practice over the semester. So, thank you guys for doing that. It must be the end of the semester. You must know, or end of the block, and you guys know exactly what to do. So, that's always good. Okay, well, everybody follow me to Germany real quick, and we're going to go over Germany, and then we'll just go from there. So everybody jump in the Germany room. Alright, so it looks like we got almost everybody in here. So I'm going to start going. So it looks like land and climate. It is 137,000, almost 138,000 square miles, which is a lot. Population is 8,500,000. So there's a lot of people in a small area. I think somebody put on here that it's basically the size of Japan. I saw that somewhere. It's a little bit smaller than the size of Japan, and you have, basically almost 81 million people there. So there's a lot of people in there, but they still have some areas that are for farming land and stuff like that, but a lot of people in a small area. And that's what you'll find out a lot about Europe as we're looking at them. A lot of people in that small area. German is the official language. It is very beautiful over there. Some of the things that need to be considered is Roman Catholic is the main religion, but a lot of them are Protestant, mostly what's called Lutheran, after Martin Luther, who's a reformer. Let's see here. What else do you guys have? Yeah, so one thing is a lot of people decide they don't belong to a faith anymore over in Germany. They've just had so many regime changes with the Nazi regime that took over that area, and they had before the Nazis came into power and Hitler became in power, everybody was just desolate, basically meaning they didn't have any food, they weren't safe. People would just come in and invade them, and that happened for centuries upon centuries. And so a lot of them they don't have any real faith necessarily, and they're very skeptical of things. Okay, that's something you'll learn about a little bit about the German culture. So, okay, let's head over to the United Kingdom real quick. Jump in the United Kingdom room. Alright, so we almost have everybody here. Very good. Okay, so let's learn a little bit about the United Kingdom, what you researched, okay? Okay, the UK, it says known for clouds and rain, which is very true. When I lived over in England, and Wales, which is part of the United Kingdom, my trousers always got wet. Does anybody know what trousers mean? What does trousers mean? They have a different form of English over there. Or if I were to say, does anybody know what the rubbish bin is? Oh, hold on. I hate when that does that. Pants. Okay, yeah, you're right. So my trousers are my pants. A little bit different. Does anybody know what rubbish bin means? Trash. All right. Yep. So it means the trash bin or the garbage can. Yep. So just some funny things. Trash, dirtiness. Yeah. The loo. Yeah. Got to go to the loo. which means the bathroom. So all this potty talk we're saying. Oh, geez. But yeah, it's a pretty cool place. All right, so but it doesn't really get way cold over there. Um, Usually, sometimes it can get below freezing, but not a lot, and it's because it's by the ocean. But it still doesn't get very high, like in temperature. Like it's gonna get into possibly the 80s. That's about it. Um, let's see here. Okay, so population. You have almost 65 million people. Yep, 65 million people. That's pretty crazy. Nearly everyone in the UK speaks English. You do have some that speak Welsh, which is kind of form, or Gaelic is another older language. In some very small communities there that are hidden back, they speak Gaelic or Welsh. Today, most people are either Anglican, or Church of England is what it's called. The Anglican Church is more there. So King Henry VIII started that church. So very good, good research, guys. Appreciate it. I'm going to pull everybody back to the main room, and then we'll get going there. All right, so everybody's back to the main room now. Thank you for the breakout activity. We didn't get to learn a little bit about France, but I would suggest to look into it. Very cool place as well. All right, so let's go over. I'm going to be showing you quite a few pictures here as we're going through the rest of this PowerPoint. So, as I said, Europe varies from its different climates and what it's like there. Some of the things, if you can see right here, this is your marine west coast area. This would be like Ireland or Scotland, the United Kingdom. You have these green fields. You can kind of see they make a lot of things out of stone or brick because there have been people that lived there for so long, and they've really just cut down most of the trees. So there's not a lot of trees that you find. You have some forests, but not a lot. And so they usually use stones for building materials. As you go up more north, you're going to see some things like this. So this middle picture right here, this is you're going to find places like this in Sweden or Norway, those kind of things. Places that are on the coast, very green, a lot of trees. Germany is like that too, and so it's a little bit colder, but not too bad. But they're a little farther inland. You also have your marine west coast, which is like Florida, as you see, kind of the bottom middle picture right there. As you see, the population is very populated. So you look at these homes, and they're just stacked on right by one another. So people live in a lot, mostly proximity of each other. But you know, it's kind of a cool place where they have boats and oceans and stuff like that. Very nice, and as you kind of imagine, like Southern California and Florida, why everybody wants to go there. That's why you want to go to Greece and Italy and Spain, those areas. Then you get into your more ancient, I wouldn't say ancient, sorry, but more classical areas like Paris, as you can see in this far right picture here. They have very older architecture, which has been around for 3, 4, 5, even 500 years. Older building, cobblestone streets, those kind of things that you can see in that area. So some of these areas are like Paris, okay? Paris, you have the Eiffel Tower, which is kind of a symbol of Paris. You have also the Louvre, which is You think of museums that happen there, where this is a place like where the Mona Lisa is, and you think of the architecture that kind of goes here. And then you also have the streets. They have a lot of roundabouts that are over in these areas. One things that it actually helps the flow of traffic and that kind of stuff. You kind of see in these pictures how traffic is like there. We think traffic's bad in Utah. Somebody was mentioning the traffic here. In the United Kingdom and Europe, those areas, a lot of people ride on scooters for one, because they can get around easier, or motorcycles because they're always backed up. So a lot of people use public transportation. You see like those double-decker buses sometimes, and they have a lot of those in Europe. And they also use trains. Trains are a big means of transportation that we don't use over here. Another big one that's more of an ancient city, I would call it, is Rome. Rome, you can see like the Colosseum, very beautiful area. Italy is part of Rome, and let's see here. So Rome, you have Italy. The other places there, you have Vatican City, which actually is its own country. It's called an enclave that's inside of oh geez, what can I think of? Inside of Italy. It's right by Rome, and that's where the head of the Catholic Church is, or the Pope resides there. You have what's called the Sixtine Chapel that was created by Michelangelo, and a whole bunch of history lies in Rome, all the way from the gladiators from the Colosseum to the amazing cathedrals that have been made by the Catholic Church when they were in so much power. Okay, another one, as we talked about the United Kingdom, probably the main city over there is London. London, you have Big Ben, as you kind of see in the picture over there. This is just fueling my desire to travel around the world. That's exactly what it's supposed to do, Ellie. You're supposed to want to, after my class, you're supposed to just want to just get out there and see the world. So you have fly all over. Yep, exactly. And just travel, just backpack. Big Ben is the name of the clock inside the tower itself. Yep, that is correct. The bell, not the clock. Okay, yep. Very good. So you have that area. You have the I'm trying to think of the name of the big. It's not a cathedral. It's owned by the Anglican Church, so it's not. It's kind of like a cathedral, but you have it there. You have the Ferris wheel. That's kind of a big attraction to there, and then you have the bridges over here. So have you ever heard of the song "London Bridge is Falling Down"? Does anybody know where that comes from? Yep. What is it about? It's about London, right? London Bridge is falling down. It was in regards to the fire of London that happened, that burned down all these things, and locking up the one of the there was some fighting over the throne that was there, over who was going to be queen. So it's talking about all of that kind of stuff. It's kind of if you think about the lyrics and the history that goes behind it, you're like, I don't know if I should be teaching my kids this song, but it's kind of funny. All right, here's another one, Berlin. Okay, Berlin is very famous. Berlin's in Germany, which you kind of studied. It's a very modern city. All of the power falling down in London because of the diverse opinions about political power. Yeah, so let's go. Let me go back to London real quick. So yeah, when you're talking about that, you had the Catholic Church and you had the Anglican Church, and there was a big fight after King Henry VIII. He's the one that who created the Church of England, and they kind of went against the Catholic Church, and so you had that political power that was going back and forth. Yeah, but religion and politics are kind of like the same. Like, they're very interlinked there. So that was one of the things why, well, they don't actually have that in the Constitution of the United States, but yeah, they're intertwined. But that's why, was it? I mean, you hear that the phrase separation of church and state. It's actually not in the Constitution, but it's something that the founding fathers of the United States wanted because of the religion and politics were basically, and government were all the same, right? But we try to kind of stay away that and keep them separate. But very good questions. I like the interaction today. That's awesome. Okay, so let's go on to Berlin, which is another major city. Berlin, you have the Berlin Wall, right? That's here on the right. The Berlin Wall fell not too long ago. It was about 30 years ago. There's going to be a question on that, so I don't want to give it away coming up. But as you can kind of see here, the one side, there's graffiti painted all over it, okay? That was the west side, the side that was more kind of free. So after World War II, the United States and its allies took the west side, and the east side went to the Soviet Union. Well, the Soviet Union was communist, and the west side was capitalist, and the capitalist side thrived. And you can see that they graffitied the one side of the wall, that kind of stuff. In the late 1980s, they tore that wall down and was able to bring the city back together. But now you have more of a modern city now. It's kind of modernized, but a lot of Eastern Europe is still very, very poor because of what the Soviet Union's policies that they put in place. Alright, so let's do a poll question real quick. What year was the Berlin Wall torn down? I kind of gave you the answer, not really, but see what you think. Is it A, 1965, B, 1945, C, 1989, or D, 2001? Think about what I just said. Hopefully you're listening. Okay, I'll have you get your answers there in 3, 2, 1. Boom. The correct answer is 1989. Okay, so it really wasn't that long ago. We're coming up on almost 30 years that the Berlin Wall had fallen down in the fall of communism. Yep, 30 years. All right. So as we're going through, we also have one thing that's very important to the Republican society. So as a republic, government is what I'm meaning. So how the United States, not the Republican Party per se that we know in the United States, but forming a republic. So a country of the people instead of having a king and that kind of stuff. One of those big things was ancient Greece. Ancient Greece, as you can kind of see here, I mean, it was known for the Olympics that it started. It was known for its many gods: Zeus, Hercules, Hades, Athene. So all of those different kind of things. But one of the things it was known for was it didn't have a king or queen. It had representatives that represented the people and organized a government. And that's how the United States was first created, was on that premise of a republic. And you can kind of see the old ancient temples that they used to build and the amazing things that they used to do in ancient Greece. Okay. Alright. So, let's see here. What is true about ancient Greece? Okay, as I just talked about. Is it A, they were polytheistic? Okay, that's a big word. So polytheistic means they believed in many gods. B, the Olympics were started in ancient Greece. C, the first republican form of government started in ancient Greece. Or D, all of these. Let's think about that for a little bit. kind of mentioned all those just a second ago. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and the correct answer is D. All of these are true. They had a Republican form of government, which I said, which helped form the United States a little bit, or at least the concept of people running the thing instead of a king and queen. The Olympics were started there, and they're polytheistic. Remember Zeus, Hades, all of those things. Okay, that leads us to the very end, which is our exit ticket. So what I want to do real quick is I do want to screen share with you